Welcome back to the cabin. Today I'm going to show you a video on how to service the Martin propane heater. And here's my disclaimer, I am not a licensed gas technician. You should really have these things serviced by one of those folks because they are experts at it, and it is a risky procedure to be servicing these units. So with really big consequences if you make a mistake. I'm just showing you my routine. I'm not telling you to do it this way. So this is the Martin propane heater. Years ago we decided to heat the cabin with propane and have not regretted it. It actually has worked out very well. This unit does require maintenance, and we're going to go over that today, actually, how to do that and how we have done that. I'll show you a few things that we really need to get done today, meaning cleaning out inside the chamber as well as replacing the gasket. So the first part of the inspection starts outside the cabin. Let's take a look at the propane tanks themselves and my auto switchover regulator. So you want to check on your tanks, make sure they're within date. The one on the left is empty, so I'll be taking that in for a refill, and I've disconnected it there from my auto switchover regulator. So this regulator right here will switch the propane from one tank to the other when one gets empty. It'll do it automatically. I'm going to inspect my pigtails here, and as you can see, this one has got a crack in it. So that is going to have to be replaced. This one is relatively new. I think I did that one last year. So as you can see here, I picked up these heavy-duty propane pigtail connectors. Just got this off Amazon, so that'll be an easy fix. Well, I've got gas line outside the cabin here, so make sure you inspect that, make sure it's all good, and it looks fine to me. This goes into the cabin. Looks okay, other than it might need a little bit of a paint job there, but everything else looks okay. Also, inspect the exhaust. This is where the exhaust from the Martin heater comes out. And as you can see, it's free and clear of any obstructions. Still looks okay. No, water leaking around it or anything like that. Now, full disclosure, I don't take the whole unit off inside the cabin. I'll show you how I maintain the unit itself. I don't take the whole thing apart. Don't pull the sleeve out of the wall. I think that's a little bit excessive, but obviously just take a look, make sure there's no wasp nests or anything like that that could be obstructing the flow of the exhaust. Here's my little propane heater parts box. Got a lot of good things in here. These are, if I was going to get 100-pound tanks, I've got the pigtails for that. I got some compressed air. I got them from Princess Auto. I'll show you a couple other cute things I got from there. I got these really neat lights that go over the shed. As you can see, they're LED, solar powered. And I also picked up this little mat for Royce for in the canoe, which is really helpful for him. And I also grabbed a cute little thermometer while I was there. Lots of good stuff at that store. I have an extra spark plug for the Martin. I actually contacted Bismarck a while ago, and they sent me a whole bunch of repair parts. So things that are in the unit have been actually repaired since I got it, but I have a lot of spare parts in here. There's another regulator, and there's some gas line, another pigtail. Yeah, lots of fun stuff in here. The jobs we're going to do today is to replace the gasket. So one thing that Bismarck didn't have, well, they did, but it was going to be an arm and a leg, was I need to fix the seal from the glass that you can see the glass window where the flame shows inside of the unit. It was actually last winter, we opening and closing the door, we noticed the flame kind of flicker a bit, so the seal was not wonderful. So today, that's going to be a job. We're going to be cleaning it out as well as replacing the gasket on the glass. And the compressed air that I showed you that I got from Princess Auto, we'll be using that to clean out the unit. There's quite often a lot of debris that gets inside the unit. We'll need to clean that out. And I should say that this Martin heater, link below down in the comments if you're interested in buying this unit. This is a 20,000 BTU unit. You can actually get something a little bit smaller than this if you wish. So one thing I'm going to do is just make sure that the spark plug is working and I can get a spark. You can see it flashing there, so that's good. And what I'm doing to generate that is I push down here and I push the little starter right there. And of course, you want to make sure that you can, that it does light the propane and has a really nice blue little flame like that. Now I'm going to turn up the gas and it should light the bar like that. So there we go. So you can see there's a lot of little, lots of debris in there, and we're going to kind of get those out of there. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to soap each of these joints. I don't smell any propane, but I once the gas is going, I always make sure I should soap all these little tubes here to make sure there's no propane leaking. Don't forget to check all the connections here, all through here, and kind of look behind. And this one right here, I've had leaks at this one too. I don't see anything there. And then I kind of go in some of the smaller pieces up in here too. Now, if you do have to tighten any of the little sort of copper fittings and things like that, be sure not to crank it down too hard. You could damage the tubing or the little nut that kind of holds them to the unit. So just be really careful. I speak from experience. So the cover comes off of this pretty easily. And you can see here where the spark plug is and a lot of the tubing where the gas goes, the thermocouple. Is sort of the main gas tube there, and this is kind of where it comes in. So the next step is going to be to kind of take off this piece of glass here so we can get into the actual chamber to kind of clean it out. You can see it's kind of scuzzy in there. And I do want to replace this, this little gasket all along through here. So let's take that off once it's cooled down. I just get a little bit of this rust off with some steel wool. And he lives a pretty hard life out here, high humidity, really cold, really warm. So, I mean, these parts do wear over time. Well, the next thing I have to do is I'm going to cut up some of this gasket right here. Again, got this off Amazon. It's a bit wider than I need. I only need about a 1/2 inch. And I think this is 1 1/8. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. I will cut it down, maybe by a 1/2, make it easier. And I'll need 2 pieces at about 16 1/4 inches and 2 pieces about 2 1/4 inches to do the top and sides. You'll see I'm wearing vinyl gloves. This is going to be very itchy type stuff to work with. It's hard to work with here with all these crazy bugs. I'll try to be quick. So, yeah, 16 1/2 or so. It's pretty easy. You could probably just tear it. So I'll need 2 pieces of this length, and then I'm going to cut them approximately. And well, actually, you know what? If I cut them in 1/2, we should be good to go. Try to be even with it. Perfect. Boom. Now about 2 1/4. We might need to trim it as we see fit, but I'll do right there. Perfect. That should do it. Now I'm going to take off these little nuts here with this adjustable wrench. This is really delicate work, so make sure that you're very safe with this. It's fully cooled down. And as you get down to the last screws down here and nuts up here, make sure you hang on to this glass. It's going to fall right off. Once you loosen them, you can really just loosen them by hand. I can see in the next year or so, these are getting a little bit rusty. I might have to replace those next year. I've had this unit now for, I don't know, close to 4 or 5 years. So it's really done as well. Really happy with it, but it does require maintenance. All right, now we're at the part where we're going to start taking these little metal pieces off. That's the bottom piece. And this is the top piece. And as you can see, this is the gasket I'll be replacing all along here. It's been pretty compressed over the years and ripped and stuff, so it's time to go and clean that out. So the glass will lift off, so be really careful with that, and then you have access to the interior chamber. And as you can see, there's lots of dirt and debris that get in here during the year. You can see all that on my my glove here, all through here on the bar. So I'm going to be using the compressed air to clear that out. As you can see, I also removed all the old gasket. It was really kind of stuck on there and, you know, really a mess and all ripped up. So I did that, and I cleaned out the interior there, so it's looking pretty spick and span. You can have another look in there with a flashlight at the thermocouple and the igniter in there, make sure that's okay. But we determined that was pretty good. So now I've got my new pieces of gasket that are gonna go on here, and then the little pieces are gonna go on this side, and then we'll replace the glass. So the next step is to replace this new gasket. As you can see, I've kind of notched out the side pieces there, and I've kind of trimmed up the longer pieces just so that they don't hang out too much into the chamber there. All right, and there we have it. The new gasket's in place. It's one of those jobs when you need lots of hands and be really steady with it, and always test to make sure there's no oxygen ingress. And don't forget to put this back on when you're done. Thanks so much for joining me today at the cabin to do a quick repair on the Martin propane heater. I know a few of you had asked me to do how I do maintenance on it, and here you go. So let me know if you have one of these heaters, if you like it, what you don't like about it. I really enjoyed it over the years, and I hope to have it for many more. See you in the next video. Bye for now.